Find the exact value of cosine of alpha minus beta if sine of alpha equals the square root of 5 over 3, and alpha is between pi over 2 and pi, and cosine of beta equals 4/7, and beta is between 0 and pi over 2. So once again, we need to draw them. And the first triangle is going to be between pi over 2 and pi. And we're drawing a tie triangle. And here's alpha. You can write A if you prefer. And it's opposite. Sine is opposite divided by the hypotenuse. So we need to find the other length, which I'm just going to call A. And it's going to be A squared plus the square root of 5 squared equals 3 squared. So A squared plus 5, remember square rooting and squaring cancel each other out. We can subtract 5 from both sides and get A squared equals 4. Take the square root of both sides, A equals 2. Now when we fill in this 2, notice that we went left. It's going to be a negative 2. Because what we need in that is we're going to need to know the sine value for that triangle and the cosine. So that sine, got to be able to see it. You can't even see my 2. We know that sine of alpha equals the square root of 5 over 3. We were given that value. But now when we look at the cosine of alpha, again, if you don't like alpha, write A. The cosine is going to be the adjacent, which is negative 2 over 3. Second triangle, we're between 0 and pi over 2. So here's 0, here's pi over 2, our bow tie triangle. Here's B, labeling, and across from B is the opposite, so this must be the adjacent because this is the hypotenuse. So we want to find this length, which I'll call B, and it's going to be 4 squared plus B squared. So 16 plus B squared equals 49. Subtract 16 from both sides. We get B squared equals 33. We get B equals the square root of 33. We cannot simplify that. That's 3 times 11. Got to be able to see it. We cannot simplify that. We need 2 to be able to take out 1, and we don't have 2 of the same value. Need in terms of information here to fill in our cosine is we need to know that the sine of beta, nice that it's in the first quadrant because all of the functions are positive quadrant, sine of beta is opposite, which is going to be our square root of 33 divided by 7. And then we also need to recognize, and we are already given, that the cosine is going to be 4/7. We were given. Because our third step then is to identify the identity that we're going to use. And this one, cosine of alpha minus beta. So it's going to be cosine of alpha times cosine of beta. Since we're subtracting here, we're going to add, and then it's going to, and we look down and see what we know. Cosine of alpha, can't see it here on my work, but cosine of alpha is negative 2/3. Cosine of beta, 4/7. Sine of alpha is the square root of 5/3. And then sine of beta is the square root of 33/7. So when we finish here with this, negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. 3 times 5 is 15. 5 times 3 is 15, 16. It's 165 over 21. 3 times 7. Plus the square root of 165 over 21. Edmentum may write it as the square root of 165 minus 8 over 21. I just don't want you to miss the problem because of a formatting error. But there's how we work with the sum and difference identities.